Fast forward, any combo China so AGH politics avenue. On your podcast or trend here, you make headlines and ya jamre na EDB exomo and idiom young rock say and ED Kenya. Only I'm structure with my subscribe to the channel. Woman has to be me I say on the notification bell, share na Akuffo to answer into me. Any idiom young political highways na ejedemo enya asem koto akra na me no ka say eye OSP na otimi achichire kwadu makomako 78 ede abo eye GRA adwumayefo a onua edin apiepie mu no enya asem koto akra na nyina ne say omotimi akose eye 1.4 billion Ghana city financial loss to the state onua enye asem koto akra na Edi ebi epiepie mu eye former GRA commissioner eye Mr. Kofi Inti nidi epiem sanso na senior GRA official Isaac Bentel enso edi ombi kudwedamwa eye former technical advisor at the Ministry of Finance ono so nidi akopiem a enya asem koto akra ye wo NS Akori ene eye XML acts entity na charges omudibo wo no onya enya asem koto akra makum 78 one also conspiracy to influence procurement on multiple counts a agreement among public officials and XML to manipulate the procurement process in XML's favors, especially using single source procurement without approval. Counts are hold on be brave onya at this point in time Mesrek say yenjimbre na yembongrem abra me no ka say abejofo attract na omo insemi mu impensempensemu AGH politics aven yankoyensem.
It has been on an agenda to ensure that at least persons who are found to have misappropriated funds are dealt with according to law. So the OSP has filed 78 charges against former Finance Minister Ken Ofori, former GRA Commissioner Amisha Dai Owusu-Amoah, and then LGR-SML Chief Executive Evans Edusei and 4 others over their alleged roles in the controversial revenue assurance contract between the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited SML. The charges consist of conspiracy to commit the criminal offense of directly or indirectly influencing the procurement process to obtain an unfair advantage in the award of a procurement contract, corruption, and causing financial loss to the state. Other accused persons named in the charge sheet are the former GRA Commissioner Emmanuel Kofi Nti, Senior GRA official Isaac Krentil, and Kwejo Damoa, a former technical advisor at the Ministry of Finance, Ernest Akori, and SML as an entity. Right, so we'll try and walk you through some of the key charges. Out of that 78, we've teased out some of the outstanding ones so you can also be on the same page as we all await to see how this will play out in court. So it starts from count 1 to 46, the offenses fall into 6 main categories, which are 1, conspiracy to influence procurement. So the agreement among public officials and SML to manipulate the procurement process in SML's favor, especially using single source procurement without approval. 2 is influencing the procurement process. Multiple counts have been leveled on this particular charge. So he says the actual acts of improperly awarding contracts to SML via single source procurement without mandatory public procurement authority approval. 3rd count, also many in number, is causing financial loss to the state. Now, it says willfully enabling SML to receive huge payments for 1, transaction audit services, external price verification services, even though contracts were unlawfully awarded. So if you go to our website, 3news.com, you have a full version of the charge sheets, the 78 charges all there. And now let's engage private legal practitioner Martin Pebu on this. You would know that he is one of the key advocates when it comes to this particular SML issue and has been asking that quick action be taken. Will this one be quick enough? Mr. Pebu, good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Martin. Yeah, good.
Well, to start with, 78 charges in all, the OSP has finally, as many were expecting, taken this issue up, gone to court, and has slapped these charges on the individuals. As a keen advocate within this space, what do you make of this?
Look, these charges, I see them as half-hearted and half-baked. That's a half-hearted attempt to fight corruption with a half-baked solution. Why do I say so? Look, from the day Kissie Jabe himself came and confessed that he saw Ofori leave Ghana and didn't tell Ghanaians, that was when I lost all the trust that I had in him. I lost all. So this is a half-hearted fight against corruption. Kissie Jabe is not fighting corruption. He's pretending. Oh, Martin, how can you see your key accused person, the crown jewel? Ofori is a crown jewel. We all know how Ghana borrows, then Data Bank makes money. Ghana borrows, then Data Bank, Ofori's company makes money, etc. All the financial malfeasance, etc. We as Ghanaians suspected Ofori, and Kissie Jabe could come on air to tell us that he saw Ofori leave, because he said he intercepted the letter that was written to both the former chief of staff and the sitting chief of staff, the current one, right? And Kissie Jabe intercepted it. Then he said he went to NIB, he didn't get help. He went to National Security, he didn't get help. He went to Immigration, he didn't get help. Now I'm beginning to hear that NIB say no. Kissie Jabe didn't bring any arrest warrant, didn't bring any letter showing that Ofori was to be arrested. So I'm very sure soon National Security will also come out. Such a man, he's a double agent. He's pretending to fight corruption. Trust me.
Counsel, but clearly from his submissions and interviews he has given and even his public addresses, he gave clear indications that although he was unable to prevent Ken Ofori from leaving Ghana, he got wind of it at a very latter stage of that process and took action in that regard. You believe that his actions were much ado about nothing?
Absolutely. Name. How many times have I called you? If you heard that Ofori is about to leave Ghana, if you did a press conference, once he's not yet reached the airport, or even if he was at the airport, within 1 hour, we would have stopped him one time. One time would have stopped him. Kissie Jabe is a double agent. He's pretending. Look, Kissie Jabe worked for Ofori. He worked for Ofori. That's his former client. I think he was going to throw Ofori under the bus. This is a half-hearted and half-baked solution. The real solution was to have prevented Ofori from leaving Ghana. But Kissie Jabe colluded with Ofori and away bus. So this one is to fool Ghanaians. It's just to fool us. Look, some of the charges.
Counsel,
have you seen? Oh, let me land one statement, just one sentence. Have you seen the charges on causing financial loss? OSP doesn't have a mandate on causing financial loss. That's for Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayini. You see, but he wants to go to court on causing financial loss. When the court free him on that, how is Dr. Ayini going to go back? How is Dr. Ayini going to go back? Hey, Charlie, let's wise up. Kissie must leave that office immediately. Look, he has lost the plot. He has to go.
Mr. Kwebu, thank you. For lack of time, we'd have to leave it here. Thank you for your time and thoughts. Martin Kwebu is a private legal practitioner.
Earlier, Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, had petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, CHRAJ, to investigate the Office of the Special Prosecutor over allegations of bias and abuse of power. The petition, dated November 12, 2025, and signed by SML's Chief Executive Officer, Evan Seduse, seeks CHRAJ's intervention to probe what the company describes as a gross abuse of discretionary power and a violation of fair administrative process. The petition, filed under Article 218 of the 1992 Constitution and Section 7 of the CHRAJ Act 1993, Act 456, calls for a full inquiry into the conduct of the OSP's lead investigator, Mr. Albert Akurugu, and possible complicity by the Special Prosecutor, CHRAJ. SML says the respondent's actions constitute a gross abuse of discretionary power driven by personal vendetta rather than lawful investigative purpose.
Stay on legal matters because the Human Rights Court of the Accra High Court has reduced the bail terms for former bulk oil storage and transportation chief executive, that's the BOST CEO, Edwin Provincial, from 60 million Ghana cedis to 30 million after his lawyers moved an application to vary his bail. Edwin Provincial was granted a 60 million Ghana cedi bail by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, after he was invited for questioning over transactions and operations during his term. He was also arrested last week at the Kotoka International Airport as he attempted to travel to Mozambique. In court on Tuesday, November 18, the court granted the applicant and varied the bail terms. The former BOST CEO has also been ordered to deposit his passport with the court registry.
Still at the court, prosecution in the murder case of immigration officer Stephen Ken Amwa say they have forwarded a duplicate docket of the case to the Attorney General's office. Two accused persons, Bright Aware and Thomas Ziga, are facing charges of murder and conspiracy to commit crime for their roles in the killing of the immigration officer. Lord Idwasari reports.
According to the prosecution's brief facts of the case, Stephen was reported missing on July 3, 2025, after leaving home to meet a friend at Ashoman Estate. His charred body was later discovered on July 9 at Aboom Junction near Kwabenya, sparking a manhunt and an intensive police investigation. Two suspects, Bright Awe and Thomas Ziga, were picked up following the investigations and have been charged. The police are, however, yet to be taken at the Adabraka District Court. In court on Tuesday, the investigator indicated that the duplicate case docket had been sent to the Attorney General's office for advice after they received the forensic report on the cause of death of the immigration officer. The prosecution was informed by the court clerk that the presiding magistrate Abna Aso Osuo Menyo was absent because she had been assigned to relieve another magistrate in a different court. The case has since been adjourned to December 3 for continuation. Meanwhile, the prosecution is yet to arrest another suspect in the matter after the court granted a warrant.
In more news this evening, Ghana is witnessing a sharp rise in armed robbery and murder cases involving illicit weapons, prompting renewed concern over public safety. The Interior Ministry says the growing threat demands urgent national action. For the first time since 2016, the ministry has announced a nationwide gun amnesty aimed at reducing the growing circulation of illegal firearms. There is more on this report.
A surge in violent crime has pushed government to revive a national gun amnesty, the first in 9 years. Security figures show 1,219 robbery cases and 552 murders recorded in 2024. And by July this year, police had already confirmed 628 armed robbery cases and 340 murders, all involving illicit weapons. Minister for the Interior, Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, says the amnesty will run from December 1, 2025 to January 15, 2026. The program is expected to give the public a penalty-free window to surrender illegal firearms.
Every illicit firearm in circulation is a silent threat. It may lie hidden in a cupboard, under a bed, or buried in the bush. But at any moment, it can destroy life and families forever. We cannot continue to bury our loved ones while the tool of violence remain unchecked. The statistics is not looking good at all.
He warns that anyone who refuses to surrender their illicit weapon after the deadline will be treated as a criminal.
When this amnesty period ends, the law will take its full course. The Ghana Police Service and all security agencies will intensify operations to recover illicit arms. Those who refuse this generous offer will be treated as criminals, and the consequences will be firm and uncompromising.
To support the exercise, district collection points will be set up nationwide. Also, whistleblowers and informants will be paid to report individuals holding illicit arms who fail to comply and return their weapons voluntarily. According to the Minister for the Interior, security mapping shows 77 hotspots in the Ashanti region and 88 in the Central region, many located in Galamsey sites, where illegal weapons are most prevalent.
In more news tonight, President John Mahama has given the strongest indication yet that he will not delay by a minute in signing into law the anti-LGBTQ+ bill currently yet to be relayed in Parliament. Assent of the controversial Family Values Bill into law hit a snag after a legal suit challenging its constitutionality, as ex-President Akuffo also failed to assent it. The president has given a firm assurance to the Christian Council that he is ready to sign into law once Parliament finishes its work.
This will be the second meeting of the Christian Council with the president since he assumed office, touting an open door policy. The demands of the Christian Council beyond the fight against Galamsey were swift.
Excellency, the Christian Council notes with growing concern the prolonged silence surrounding the bill on the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian family values. This has created uncertainty and tension within the citizenry, particularly among faith-based organizations and traditional communities. The Christian Council of Ghana continues to affirm its belief in the vision and necessity of a national cathedral as a unifying symbol of faith, gratitude to God, and moral renewal for our nation. While we are aware of the prevailing economic difficulties, we believe that the cathedral's completion under a transparent, accountable, and inclusive framework would serve as a spiritual and cultural landmark for generations to come.
Responding to concerns raised by the Christian Council during a courtesy call at the Jubilee House, the president reiterated that the position of his government is clear on LGBTQ.
The position of my government: marriage is between man and woman. A person's gender is determined at birth, and then also that the family is the foundation of our nation. That is our position. And so there are no questions or equivocations about what we believe. I believe that we are completely aligned with the Christian Council in terms of your belief. And so we agree with the Speaker to relay the bill and let Parliament, debate it. And if there are any amendments or whatever that have to be done, if the Parliament of the people of Ghana endorse the bill and vote on it and pass it, and it comes to me as president, I will sign it.
Again, he responds to the quest by the clergy for resumption of works on the National Cathedral.
I believe that at this time and age, with all the problems we have, $400 million to build a cathedral is excessive. I know Nigeria have built an ecumenical center, and I've been there. It's a decent, beautiful place, and they built it for $40 million. And so maybe some of the things are excessive, Let's find somewhere, all of us, on National Day of Thanksgiving and Worship, we can all go there and worship God and thank Him for what He has done for us. And so when that forensic audit is over, our intention is to have a broad-based consultation with the Christian community to see how we can build a place that is decent for us to worship. But apart from that, make it a center where people can come and, look at its architecture and all that, and find that Christ, has a place in our hearts, in our nation.
Away from the presidency to Parliament now, the minority in the House fiercely defended the record of the NPP administration, touting that they left office with enough import cover for the current government. On the first day of the budget debate, the caucus denied claims that the current government inherited a collapsed economy. Meanwhile, the Attorney General has justified why huge sums of bail conditions are handed to suspects.
We had an economy where, for so many years, we were running this economy as if there was free money from people, so we're not cutting our coat according to size. Mr. Speaker, we're very reckless, to say the least, in borrowing and in managing the fiscal space. Mr. Speaker, externally, we experience serious heightened external vulnerabilities. So we just didn't even have the external reserves to import critical essential drugs just to keep us alive.
He said
we and Semahodua, it's because what channel so, Mamma so Jim Rewa, the Senate of Body and Yadumia Dumia. You have a sample room, na ya sumo.